This is a Wild Games Production podcast.
Good morning, folks. This is Vince the Evil DM, the podfather of OSR Podcasting, back with another episode, another daily episode. How long could we go with these episodes? I have no idea, actually. Running out of content, I think. No, I'm kidding. So today I was thinking a little bit about playing previous editions of games and why we should. Now, I'm a big person that likes to play Advanced Dungeons & Dragons First Edition. Obviously, D&D is on 5th edition right now. And that's the newest edition of the game. And most people are like, well, why do you go back and play older editions of games when the newer edition is out? Well, the older edition of the games are something that I remember when I was a child, playing the game and rolling dice with friends. So that's part of the reason why the older editions appeal to me. Also, it's good for other games. Like, for example, say we go to DC Heroes. There is 3 editions of that game. Why would you play the first edition of that game when there is a 3rd edition and then there's Blood of Heroes that was a kind of a clone-ish type game? Not really much, but awful art. Why would you play the older editions compared? Because you want to see where the roots of the game come from. You want to see how the game played before they updated it. You want to see how the game works. You want to see how the game flows before you make an informed decision about how the game works. And that's really one of the reasons why I do play older editions, because I'd like to, relive what I played when I was a kid, for one. And 2, I like to see what the games look like and play like before I move or make an informed decision about what I want to play. For example, Shadowrun. We'll go to there as well. My group currently plays Shadowrun 5th edition, which is probably, it was one of the worst editions that Shadowrun had made. But 6th edition just took the cake this year because that is just awful. Some of the changes they made on that were really bad. So my group decided to stick with 5th. Now, what did I grow up playing? Shadowrun 2nd edition. Shadowrun 2nd edition is a very complex game to read if you haven't read it in 20-something years. Going back looking at Shadowrun 2nd edition and reading it recently, I have discovered that I am getting a little bit confused and a little bit bored of the rules because of the way it's written. Now, the book is dated, obviously, 80s, 90s style, where things read more of like a tech manual or a fiction book, and it really wasn't meant to entertain you. It was meant to inform you because it was a guidebook. It was a rules book. And books more these days are, I want to say, written more for people to entertain them while they learn. It's kind of the new style of writing. And if you go back and play the older editions of Shadowrun, you see how the game has advanced and evolved over the years, and you may not like it. Personally, I don't like the way Shadowrun has evolved. Yeah, it's gotten a little bit simpler to play and a little bit easier to play, but I don't like it. I like 2nd edition. I wish I can get more people to play 2nd edition. It is a fun game to play. 1st edition had a lot of broken rules about it. 2nd edition fixed the brokenness and made the game pretty much perfect. Some people say 3rd edition made it perfect. Some also say that 4th edition and the Anniversary edition were the ones that actually made the game a solid game. Everybody has their own opinion, and I'm not trying to start any wars here, but it's fun to play older editions of games, gather around with friends, and make a decision together as a group to figure out what actually works inside the games. And then you can make your own informed decision about what edition you really want to play. With that, really all I wanted to say today. The lost episode of RFI that people keep asking me about, I am still editing it. I have to listen to it segment by segment because there's a lot of editing involved, because apparently when we recorded the episode there was a lot of trouble with Skype, because back then we used Skype, there was no Discord, there was no Hangouts was a thing, but we didn't use Hangouts at all. I think even Hangouts was kind of a newer thing then, but Skype is what we used, so And I think this was around the time that Microsoft had bought Skype from the Skype whatever company, and there was so much trouble with Skype, and people kept dropping out. It was a show with myself, Will, Matt, and Nick. The topic of the show was, I believe, we were answering questions from the community. So it was about an hour and 10 minutes around there. I mean, there was probably some chatter I need to pull out of there because it was just in between waiting for somebody to come back because of the weather and Skype and things like that. But it was, so far, it's been an interesting listen because it was such a long time ago. I don't even remember the episode. So it's like a new episode to me. Well, all right, I'm going to head out. Tell me what you think. Are you excited about the new RFI episode? Also, what do you think about previous editions of games? Do you play previous editions because you like to know about the roots of the game? Do you play it because of nostalgia? Or you just play it because that's what you're used to playing and you don't want anything new because you're a grumpy grognard like me? Anyways, with that said, keep it original, keep it old school, and Podfather out.